All right, welcome back. It's Two Plain Sports. We're gonna just the NFL schedule special, I guess. We're gonna go through, mainly cover our brothers, OU quarterbacks. So Browns, Philly, and the Cardinals. I know it's gonna be an exciting year for all of those guys, to especially Baker in Cleveland, but Brandon, you want to start off? What do you think Cleveland's going to do this year?
Cleveland. So Cleveland is. Hold on, pull up the schedule real quick. They're a team obviously last year that I think they surprised a lot of people, with not only beating Pittsburgh but beating kind of beating the hell out of Pittsburgh in that wild card round. And then if you look at the division round against Kansas City, who eventually obviously went to the Super Bowl, they gave them everything they wanted and then some. They had that fumble at the
they might have
line.
won that game.
That really hurt them. They gave Cleveland or Kansas City everything they wanted. And then look at the team this year; they're turning almost the exact same team. I mean, right? Is it? I mean, more or less.
Cleveland really they added Jadeveon Clowney and John Johnson, the safety. And they're getting Odell Beckham back. I actually think they're a better team than last year, unless
So they're even better than they were last year, which last year's team we're suggesting that very well could have been a fumble at the 1-inch line away from beating Kansas City. So yeah, there's a lot of high hopes in Cleveland. I think there's every reason to be hopeful. Why not Cleveland? They're one of those teams that is, in my opinion, a legitimate threat. Why not them?
Yeah.
Kansas City's good, but that's where I'd put them. They're one of those. I think they can go anywhere they want to go as long as they're playing well.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know, Jose, if you said this, but the Vegas has their win total at 10 wins.
Right.
I think they're going to win more than 10. Brandon, I assume you think they're going to win more than 10. I mean, they won, 11 last year, 10 or 11 last year, and that was with one less game. And we've talked about that they've gotten better.
They may have gotten bigger too.
Yeah, they may have gotten bigger too. But another thing, we're highlighting these three teams. Don't forget, it's going to be crazy. We're going to have a fourth starting quarterback in the NFL after this year, after Spencer gets drafted. That's hard for me to wrap my mind around. We're going to have four quarterbacks starting the NFL.
Dude, in 10 years, if Baker's still playing and Kyler's still playing, we could have like 7 or 8.
Yeah, it would be.
Jalen Hurts stays, there's a good amount that we could put in the league.
Yeah, so I just thought I'd throw that in there. But as far as their win total goes, I'm seeing it I would think probably 11. I think 11-6 would probably be a good mark for them. They've got a tough opening game against the Chiefs. Good rematch though. They're on the road at Arrowhead. Probably the first game Arrowhead's going to be at 100% capacity in nearly 2 years. Yeah, so it's going to be a hostile environment. So it'll be interesting to see. They'll probably sweep the Bengals, probably beat the Steelers twice. I think the Steelers are very good at all, and maybe split with the Ravens.
But either way, if they do exactly what you just said, that's 5-1 against the division. There's no reason that they shouldn't and won't win the division.
Yeah, and then you throw in games against the Bears, the Vikings, the Chargers, the Cardinals, the Broncos, the Raiders. I mean, it could be 11-12 wins.
Yeah, this team I think is going to be a 13-win team. Like I'm walking through their schedule, and I don't there's no other than the game versus the Chiefs, where I think almost everyone is going to say the Chiefs are going to win that. It's going to be a very close game. We just talked about how the playoff game went last year. They were a fumble away from winning, really one possession from winning. I think that they're going to probably sweep when they play the NFC North.
Hold on. You have them sweeping the NFC North?
Yeah,
the Packers.
I think
at Lambeau Field.
Yeah,
on Christmas Day.
Yes,
no.
They're a run-heavy team. They're a run-heavy team. One thing that the Packers can't stop is the run. They've never proven they can stop the run in the last.
That's fine. I'm not saying Cleveland's not. I'm not saying that it's ridiculous to think. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm saying that there's still that very bad man who plays in Green Bay.
It doesn't
And
matter.
he's really good at playing football.
That bad man can score 35 for his offense, but his defense is going to let the Cleveland Browns score 42.
Yeah,
I don't see them beating Green Bay at Lambeau on Christmas. I'm sorry.
I would agree. And the thing is also is I think there's going to be a little bit of a hangover from last year. It's going to take them a couple games. They're going to lose a couple games that they shouldn't lose, and they wouldn't lose come in January in the playoffs if they saw them. I think you could be safe at 11 or 12 wins.
12. Yeah. If you go down their schedule,
6.
let's just go down it real quick and just a quick WL. So we start at Kansas City. I think we're all going to say L, right?
Loss.
Yeah, right. 0-1. Then versus Houston, they should smoke them.
Mm-hmm.
Do we all agree? 1-1.
Yeah. They
versus
beat
Chicago, 2-1.
Hey, all I got to say is the Bears are a weird team. They're not a horrible team.
They're a weird team.
That is one of the games where I think they'll lose that they shouldn't lose.
Do you have a loss there?
Yeah, I think they'll lose it.
Jose and I are going win, right?
Right.
So that's 2-1 and 1. Yeah.
They'll beat the Vikings.
At Minnesota, beat the Vikings, beat the Chargers. Cardinal game is tough. Beat Denver, beat Pittsburgh, beat Cincinnati, beat the dumbass Patriots, beat the Lions.
I don't know about that one.
I think that they will lose to the Chargers. The Chargers are pass heavy.
This schedule's not bad. The schedule's really not bad for them.
It's not, but I think it's going to be an 11-6. They're going to lose a couple games they shouldn't.
Yeah, I think really it's gonna come down to is one, can their defense stay healthy? I think that's been the issue for them the last 2 or 3 seasons. Greedy Williams can't stay healthy for shit. Denzel Ward is always injured for what seems like half the season since he's coming to the NFL. And then if they are trending to be, if they clinch their playoff spot early enough, they might just sit out for the second Steelers and Bengals games. So really, they could potentially be, 13, 14 win team, but they might end up being an 11 or 12 win team if they rest their starters towards the end of the season.
Yeah. But regardless, whether we think 11, 12, or 13, we all are in agreement that it's going to be over 10 wins.
Right. Definitely.
Yes. And team that at least I think, there's no reason why they can't go to the Super Bowl if they play it right.
Yeah. It's just the issue is it going to Arrowhead with a full stadium? That is.
No, yeah. If Kansas City gets that top seed again, and they meet them in the AFC title game, and Kansas City's rocket, that's a hard out.
It's not going to be an easy place to play. But do you guys have any last things for the Browns before we move on to the Eagles here?
No, I just hope that they live up to the hype. So.
I agree. Yeah, for sure. So
they will.
Yeah, and going on to the Eagles, our most recent quarterback drafted, Jalen Hurts. He'll be the starting quarterback now. Their win total from Vegas is 6.5. I think that is very fair, but they could definitely lose. I think that they will be under, winning just 6. But what are you guys thinking here?
I mean, I think they'll win 7. So I think they'll be over. And I know probably in different casinos and sports books, they've got 6.5, 7 wins. If I saw 7, I would probably wouldn't even bet on that because that'd probably be just a push. I look at it and, going through the schedule real quick. Let's get Brandon's take. I think they're going to win over. I think they're going to just skate by and get 7. What do you think?
I don't know. This is a team that, fortunately for them, their division is horrible. Mm-hmm. Last year, who was it? The Giants won the division last year, and they were 8-8, 7-9 or something. The football team. Yeah, you're right. What was their record? I think they were 500.
Yeah, they might have been
maybe 7-9.
Yeah, maybe 7-9.
Not good.
Yeah.
Washington, I think, is probably the best team in the division still, but overall, very weak division. Schedule, looking at it right now, kind of tough. I can see them being a 7-8 win team, and even in a 17-week season, finishing 8-9 might do it. But yeah, if the over or under is 6 for them, I'll put it over 2 by just a little bit.
Yeah.
But also, I think they're a team that can make the playoffs just because their division's horrible.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Atlanta. I mean, Atlanta's one of those teams where you never know which team you're going to play against in week one. They could very well beat Atlanta.
And we
You
got
never
to,
know about.
before we move on from Atlanta, we also, obviously, there's rumors that they might be trading Julio Jones, especially post June 1st. I know a lot of trades will happen probably after that because of cap hits. So, no Julio. I mean, they got Kyle Pitts, but Julio is a different kind of guy that you don't want to be missing, especially when you have an aging quarterback and pretty much have to rebuild everything around them.
Yeah, no, that's true. And then the 49ers, I really don't know what to expect of them. I mean, I think they'll be good, but it's like one of those deals where it's tough for me to really gauge where
Definitely better than Philly.
Well, yeah, I think they'll lose to Philly, or I think the Niners will beat Philly. But I mean, then the Cowboys, they very well at least split, if not win both of them. I don't know. The Cowboys are just, I don't know. And then they've got the Chiefs. The Panthers are kind of one of those teams where it depends on the week. And then you've got the Bucks, which that probably won't end well for them.
Smoked, yeah.
And then you've got the Raiders, which the Raiders are another one of those teams where it was like, depending on the week, they might show up. The Lions, they'll smoke. The Chargers, that's another
tough one,
flip.
but not an unwinnable one. Yeah.
Then the Broncos.
Denver's another coin flip.
Yeah, and then you've got the Saints, which Jose and I were talking a little earlier today, but I just don't know what to expect of the Saints.
That's what I'm saying. This is the first year in a long time that you can't just pencil New Orleans as a 10-11 game winner. We don't know what they're going to be.
No, and then they've got the Giants, which the Giants not a team either. And then you've got the football team.
You skipped the Jets.
Oh yeah, and the Jets. Well, that's a free win, but Zach Wilson will be throwing darts to everyone but his own team. I'm tempted to say 6 games, and take the under, but I think they might be able to win 7 as long as their offensive line can stay healthy. And Jalen.
What about Jalen Hurts individually? What kind of season do you think he has?
The problem is I just don't know what support the front office has for him. Are they going to really? I think he'll do well. I think he should do all right.
So what is well? Are we talking like 3,000 yard season, 20 touchdowns, 10 picks, something like along those lines with 800 rushing yards and 7 rushing touchdowns?
I think he very well could start all 17. Another thing to think about is we've got 17 games now, so that will add to everyone's stats. I think, gosh, what do we got? 17. He could probably average 250 a game. So that's he might have 4,000 yards. I think he could hit 4K this year.
I mean, averaging 250 is not.
I don't think that's possible for Jalen Hurts.
He's not wrong though. 250 is not. I don't.
You don't think he'll hit 4K this year?
He's never been a great thrower of the football, and he's good but not great. His wide receivers.
He's been an underrated thrower of the football his whole life.
Who are his wide receivers?
Thrower of the football.
Okay, even if it's underrated, he's
Devontae Smith
and Devontae Smith now.
Devontae Smith,
Zach Ertz, and Dallas Goedert.
Zach Ertz might be on the move. Dallas Goedert's good. Hopefully Devontae Smith pans out for him, but he will probably be around the 200-yard average per game. I hope he'll be a very average quarterback this year. Then also something we have to remember: the Eagles always have injuries to their offensive line, so this guy's going to be running around a lot probably after 4 weeks because who knows who's going to be blocking for him halfway through the season.
I mean, he only started 4 games last year, and he had like nearly 1,100 passing yards.
So saying he's going to average 200 yards passing, I think is low.
I think 250 is fair, and touchdown-wise, he could probably throw for 20. You might have like a 23, 24-yard passing touchdown year.
If you get you said 4,000, that'd be really in my opinion, if you get a 3,400 yard season, 24 touchdowns, 13 picks, and then he has 500-600 rushing yards and 6-7 rushing touchdowns, in my opinion, that's not a bad year.
Yeah. I just think if he can start every game, I think he could be a 4,000 yard passer, right? I know he's not the best. Well, everyone says he's not the best. He's got weapons now. It's just if that offensive line can stay healthy. I mean, I don't know who's their running back.
Miles Sanders.
Yeah, they've got Sanders.
He's pretty good.
He's good if he can stay healthy, but their defense is bad. They're gonna be playing from behind. So I think
which would help his passing yards.
Yeah,
That's true.
I think Hurts is going to be playing from behind, just like Trevor Lawrence is going to be slinging the ball all the time in Jacksonville because they're going to be behind. So I think 250. If he starts all 17 games, I'd like to think that's not 250, 4,000 yards. You know, average just under 250 a game. I don't think is unreasonable. But
yeah, you definitely brought up some good points, but I think they're still going to go under. I disagree with you guys that they'll split, even though they're in the worst division. They are definitely in the worst division in football.
Yes,
the football team is going to stand out in this division. I think that they could potentially be, if they have a really good season, the 9 or 10 win team, just because they are in a shit division, so they'll get a lot of easy wins. I think that the Giants have a potential. The Eagles will split a series with Dallas and the Giants. They'll get swept by Washington. The Chargers they're not beating the Chargers. The Chargers beefed up their offensive line. Justin Herbert can play. Their defense.
You're way high on the Chargers.
Why are you not? Justin Herbert showed last year that he can play football.
I agree. How many games did he win last year?
He's going to be
slump. How many games did they win football last year?
He's going to be protected by.
How many football games did they win last year?
He's going to be protected by a brand new offensive line. The Eagles, we all just said that they have a shit defense. So how are they going to stop them? The Chargers are getting Derwin James back.
You talk about the Chargers as if they're like a 13-win team or something.
Only 3 years ago they were in the AFC Championship, and last
year they won 5 games.
They were almost
6
They're
games.
almost the exact same team from that year, other than Phillip Rivers. You're swapping Phillip Rivers for a younger, mobile quarterback.
Yeah,
I'm just not as high on them as
you don't like him because Tua Tagovailoa gets compared to Justin Herbert, and we all know Justin's better.
No, you're talking about the Chargers as if they're going to win 15 games. I don't know.
They're probably going to be like a 10 or 11 win team, but I think that that it's not a competition when you're putting them.
I'd bet the under on 11. Any amount of money you want to bet on.
I honestly think Herbert, he had a great rookie season. There's going to be some regression in his second year.
No, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer if you ask us that.
Pencil in right now. If you ask Brandon, Tua Tagovailoa is Peyton Manning. So
no, I didn't say that.
Anyway.
You guys say he sucks. He's had a bad rookie season, which is I'm saying it's ridiculous to say somebody's horrible after one season. That's it.
And it's ridiculous to think that someone can improve, especially in this pass heavy NFL. And I'm just saying that compared when we're putting the Chargers up against the Eagles,
you're saying that
Eagles
you think he's a first ballot off.
The Eagles do not compete with the Chargers this year. Their defense will get Derwin James back. They still have Joey Bosa. They're not bad. And their offense is the exact same, except they have a very good offensive line in front of them.
They lost Hunter Henry.
Yeah, that's true. But Hunter Henry's always gone. So
they won really 7 games last year.
Yeah. I don't know. And they all got a new head coach and Brandon Staley.
And Herbert threw 2 picks against the Dolphins last year. Fun fact.
Yeah. So let's move on. We've got one last starting Oklahoma quarterback. That would be Kyler Murray with the Arizona Cardinals. Their win total, I believe, was it 8 wins?
Yes,
Jose?
8. The Cardinals are
that's low.
Which I think is low.
Yeah.
I think we're all in agreement on this one.
They added some good. J.J. Watt was obviously their highlight addition this offseason, and they're pairing him with Chandler Jones. So
Zayvon
Collins, obviously, you got drafted
is a nice draft pick.
And today, I think it was either today or yesterday was reported that Zayvon will officially be their starting Mike linebacker. So they will, and they're probably going to start playing Isaiah Simmons more at the safety position. So we'll see how their defense will look now that they have a little bit more talent on that side of the ball.
Yeah.
And they are an explosive offense. They were last year. If they can get stops and they can protect Kyler Murray, that this is the team that can probably win 10, 11 games, I think.
I agree.
And they're in the probably the toughest division in the NFL.
That's the thing that hurts them.
They most likely are going to split. In best case scenario, are going to split each game, and so they might go 3-3 in their division.
The only thing
we got one OU quarterback playing in the world's weakest division of all time, and then you got one playing in the hardest.
Yeah, I think the only thing that worries me about the Cardinals is they aren't focusing on the offensive line like I think they should. They're very much pulling a Bengals here, where they're just kind of letting Kyler. I mean, Kyler's obviously very elusive and he can sling the ball, but you've got to face Aaron Donald twice a year. I mean, you're gonna, even if you stop Aaron Donald for those 2 games, that means you're either probably double or triple teaming him and you're letting other guys out.
Also, forget they also get to play against Nick Bosa. So
that's true.
Twice.
Yeah, so it's not definitely not the
that whole division. Niners D line is pretty tough.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
Outside of it's not just Bosa. I mean, Bosa's obviously like the one you think of, but
Eric Armstead.
But it's pretty solid all the way through.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, he's running for his life when he plays against them. But yeah, I mean, 8 games. I kind of see the Cardinals winning 9.
I think 9 is fair.
Yeah, I think 9 and 8 is most likely where they're going to be. I think they're going to be just right over it. They've got some decent competition that they're going to be playing that's out their schedule. Obviously, they get a gift in the Jaguars, but Tennessee's not easy. Green Bay's not
Houston.
Easy.
They get the Houston gift.
Yeah, I mean, they get a few gifts, but I mean, you get Green Bay and the Titans and then the Colts. I think the Colts are going to be better than people think.
I don't know what to think of the Colts.
I think the Colts are going to compete. Be good. Yeah, see, it's going to be. I think the AFC,
the whole AFC,
the AFC champion. No, in the whole AFC, like the AFC will be represented by the Colts, the Browns, or the Chiefs.
Yeah. Well, let's save that for the next segment. But I mean, do we have any final comments on the Cardinals? I mean, I think they're going to be 9 and 8. Best case scenario, 10 and 7.
9 and 8, 10 and 7. Yeah, I'd like to see them in the wild card round, maybe.
Yeah.
At least we got to
sneak in at 10 and 7 or so.
Yeah. So it sounds like Brandon and I would hammer the overs on all 3 of the win totals. Jose would take 2 out of the 3. So we'll see. We'll have to revisit this at the end of the year and in middle of January. We'll move on to our next and final segment. Basically, we're going to go through each of the division winners. We can start with the AFC East, and which is near and dear to Brandon and I's heart. I think I gotta take my bias away, but I would like to. I mean, I think the Bills are going to win.
I agree.
I mean, it's painful for me to say that. I think the Bills, they're not going to run away with it. I think the AFC East could very well have 3 playoff teams.
I agree. I think it's going to be very tough in the AFC East, but I see the Bills winning it and Miami going second. Maybe a 2 or 3 game thing. No, maybe a 1 or 2 game difference. I mean, but I'm not high in New England yet. No, I don't. The problem with New England is their quarterback can't throw a football, and that's his job is to throw a football.
Well, I mean, I also watched Tua not sling it very good, so
that's fair. I understand that. And Tua's a rookie. I am very high on Tua.
Imagine that.
Just wait. Wait on it.
I want to go ahead.
Tua's going to be a 3,500-yard passer at the minimum this season.
I don't
30 touchdown passes.
But let's
30 touchdown passes at the minimum.
Let's also just kind of show people how biased this guy can be. He thought Adam Gase was a very good coach while he was with the Dolphins until the last season.
I told Brum we should fire him.
And the last season. But before that, you're like, dude, Gase is going to take us to the playoffs. He's going to make us a championship team. He did
take us to the playoffs,
Did he make you a championship team after that one time to the playoffs?
Did he take us to the playoffs? What happened? Hold on.
You expected him to be the GOAT.
Hold on. In that playoff, what happened? Do you remember one thing that was very detrimental to the Dolphins?
They didn't have Tannehill
that season. Yeah, it's pretty. That hurts.
Well, after that, they didn't do much.
So we both picked the Bills. Jose, do you agree? Disagree?
Yeah, no, it's the Bills. I don't know who will be in second. It's probably going to be the Dolphins, just for the same reason
Yeah.
Brandon said. If Cam Newton's going to be the starting quarterback for New England, I don't know the weapons you guys have other than the tight ends, but we'll see how it goes up there.
Yeah. So, and then we'll move on to the AFC North. Obviously, it's going to probably be between Baltimore and Cleveland, I would say. I think Cleveland will win it. It's going to be like
agree.
one game deal. Maybe I'm slightly biased, but Baltimore didn't get better. They actually got worse. I mean, they lost not Johnny Smith. Matt Judon. We signed him from the Ravens. I just don't see the Ravens winning it. I think it's going to be a one game deal.
They lost important pieces on their defense. Matt Judon. They lost Yannick Ngakoue.
Oh yeah, Ngakoue.
They haven't improved at wide receiver, and I mean Lamar Jackson doesn't really. I mean, unfortunately,
they lost Orlando Brown.
They lost Orlando Brown. I honestly don't. I think it's going to be by far and away the Browns. Like it's not going to be close. The Ravens are probably going to be like a 9-7 team, and the Browns are going to be
I can see it being like a 3-game difference, which I guess is kind of far and away.
Yeah, I was thinking
kind of where I see it.
Yeah, two games. I mean, the Ravens are tough even. No matter how bad they are, the one thing I learned about when the Patriots would play the Ravens, it does not matter. They're hard to beat. And so
they're purple colors.
Yeah. Yeah. So
purple is scary.
Purple's scary. So the AFC South, I think the Colts. I think the Colts are going to win it. I mean, the Texans are a dumpster fire. Trevor Lawrence with the Jags. I mean, he's going to be throwing and running for his life, and this Urban Meyer experience is going to be a 2 or 3 year deal before it really gets going. And then you've got the Titans. Titans will be the ones that'll compete, but I don't know. Their defense is porous, and
I'm gonna pick Tennessee.
Tennessee
always seems to get hot at the right time.
I think they'll make the playoffs, but I think the Colts win for sure. Have the Titans solidify in the last 2 seasons that they've made the playoffs. They've been wild card teams, right? They weren't by far and away
the thing that makes them hard to beat is that guy that plays running back to them who just runs over
Henry.
Everybody and gets 2,000 yards a season.
Yeah,
Derrick Henry's a monster. I mean, he's really good at playing football. Losing Johnny Smith's going to hurt them, obviously, in the pass game, but I just think.
I mean, they also lost.
And in the run game.
Yeah, and they also lost Kenny Vaccaro, Malcolm Butler. I mean, they lost a few pieces on defense. I don't really know who they're filling in behind, but
I don't know what they drafted either. But I think at one point Malcolm Butler was probably a pretty high level player.
Yeah.
Maybe so was Kenny Vaccaro. I don't know how much production they're going to lose now without those guys. They're probably easily replaceable.
Yeah, I'm high on the Colts. I really think they could be an 11-12 win team, and because with Frank Wright and Carson Wentz, I don't think Carson Wentz is nearly as bad as everyone's making him out to be. I think it's just. Philly is just a dumpster fire. They had their one magical year, and that was it. And then finally, I don't think we're going to have much debate in the AFC West. I mean, barring a Patrick Mahomes catastrophic injury this year or something wild, I'd like to think that Mahomes and the Chiefs are going to be the AFC West. And then we can move into the NFC.
They're going to be a 14-15 win team. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, 14-3 because they might rest a game or two.
Yeah, I think their win total in Vegas is 13.5. So
yeah,
that's fair to say 14.
So we'll move on to the worst division in football, the NFC least. I mean, I think the football team. I'm pulling for Fitzy.
Oh, I am too. I'm a huge Fitzy guy.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't think we're gonna have much argument. I think.
And plus.
They won last year.
And the football team actually does have a good defense.
They do.
And now they have, no offense to Taylor Heineke, and he even looked good in the playoff game, but Fitz is probably more reliable I like the football team easily in that division.
Yep. Yeah. I think the Giants will compete too, but I don't know. And the Eagles will probably win about 7 games.
What about Dallas with Dak coming back?
They're going 8-1. Mark my words.
8-1.
I hope so.
Yeah. So then the NFC North. I mean,
Packers.
I think it's the Packers. Aaron Rodgers is not leaving that squad. So,
As long as Aaron Rodgers is there, they're gonna win.
Are you picking the Vikings? Are you being a homer?
And it's legitimate. Like, it's not like we
And
haven't.
I'm the biased one.
It's not like we haven't. But we've
picking
actually
against Aaron Rodgers.
We've
won
competed.
6 games last
We've
year.
competed for the division. Last year, half of our defense was out. Our defensive line was completely gone, which was the most important part of a Zimmer defense. We're getting Daniil Hunter back. Michael Pierce is going to be brand new to the system at D tackle. Dalvin Tomlinson's pretty good. Going to be pairing him with Michael Pierce. The only worry I have for their defense right now is who's going to play corner with Patrick Peterson and who's going to be the other defensive end. But like I said, the Packers haven't shown they can stop the run, and that's the Vikings' favorite thing to do. As long we have a lot of big games this year, a lot of primetime games. I'm not too high on Kirk Cousins and is with primetime television, so we'll see how those go. If he can just pull out like 2 of those, then I think that it'll be a very close race in the North to see who wins.
It'll be interesting.
How many years have the Packers won the division since Aaron Rodgers has been there? I don't know. Does anybody know?
No, but probably
it's a big majority of the time. I'd venture to say.
I know the Packers, the Vikings. Yeah, they've won more than the other teams, obviously, but the Vikings aren't too far behind.
Yeah,
it's always the Packers and the Vikings. There's the one year that the Bears were good.
Better watch out for 80-14. Andy Dalton's going to carve you up. So
better watch out for my boy Blake Bortles.
Yeah, the boat.
I hope they trade Aaron Rodgers and we can just destroy Blake.
If they trade Aaron Rodgers, then Chicago will win the division.
Chicago won't win the division.
No,
Minnesota's winning 7 games.
I would take the Vikings over Chicago, but anyway, so the NFC South, I don't think we're going to have many arguments. I think Tampa Bay is going to roll down there and take care of business.
That's another division that's not
good.
all too strong. Outside of the top dog, they're not great.
Since Drew Brees left, now it's kind of lost a little bit of its luster. A little bit, but I mean the Panthers will be all right. They'll
as I say, if CMC can just run for 5,000 yards in the 17-game season, the Panthers will win a lot of games.
Yeah. So not much disagreement there. The NFC West, so the best division in football. I mean, this thing I feel like is wide open, but I really like the Los Angeles Rams because Matt Stafford has finally got a team that is going to be good around him, protect him, be able to stretch the field. Has a great offensive minded coach. I think this is the year, barring a injury, which Matt Stafford, he might have 70,000 injuries, but he'll play through it. I think the Rams will win it. I mean, with that defense, Ramsey and Donald, but I can see the cases for the other teams to win it.
There's really not necessarily a bad pick in this division. They're like, you can almost, with this division, you can almost pick a team and make a case for them. I mean, it's pretty tough. I'm going to go back to San Francisco. Using the same thing Jose said about his sorry-ass Vikings, about how they were hurt, and that's the only reason they were losing games. San Francisco was legitimately hurt. They're rolling with practice squad guys at corner all season long. They're rolling with no quarterback all season long. I mean, unless you count Nick Mullins as a GOAT. I think that team that went to a Super Bowl in San Francisco is kind of back, and if they can stay healthy, I'm going Niners.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. I mean, you got Jimmy G, and if he can, stay healthy, he could definitely take him.
And plus, like Jose mentioned earlier, but whenever we weren't, actually recording, but if Jimmy G does go down, they're putting a lot of trust in a kid with that they took 3rd overall.
Trey Lance, yeah. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see. I think this football season is going to have a lot of great storylines, adding that 17th game, extending the season an extra week. I don't think we'll ever complain about having a longer football season.
No, hell
fans. No. I see, I know. And I do think that there should have been a bye week in there, but it is what it is. I would have liked a second bye week because it would have stretched the season an extra week on top of it. But anyway, so that's all I've got.
Well, hold on. We got to give Jose his NFC West pick.
Oh, yeah. NFC West pick, Jose. Sorry.
Got to be the Niners.
Niners.
Pretty much for the exact same reason that I said about the Vikings and that Brandon said they were just badly hurt. And I think it was just freak injuries on the defensive side. Their defense will be just fine. And Jimmy G's, once he's gone, Trey Lance will take over the team and I think be much better because he's very mobile. And Shanahan's probably going to love getting to drop plays for that guy.
Yeah. No, I think you can make a case. You can make a case for the Seahawks and the Cardinals.
And Jimmy G's also proven that he can win. I mean, he took a team to a Super Bowl.
Yeah. So, well, I think that's all we've got.
Do you guys want to do like a Super Bowl pick? First night, see if we can get it right.
We can let's pick teams instead of unless you just absolutely think you got the winner. But I just want to pick teams personally.
Like who's going to play in the Super Bowl?
Be in the Super Bowl?
Well, I mean, I think it's going to be Tampa, and I think it's going to be a repeat. I think Tampa.
Same.
Chiefs,
I have a rematch, but I have Kansas City winning this year.
No, I think the Bucs will win this one again. Brady's going for 8.
Well, Jose, now you got to pick a winner. Me and Brum both did.
No, it'll be Cleveland out of the AFC.
Oh, I love it.
Out of the NFC, it'll be whoever comes out of the NFC West. So I guess for me, it'll be the Niners. So Niners versus
Cleveland, San Francisco. Okay, I like it.
And I think that the winner, that's tough because they both play similar styles of football. I think it'll be the 49ers. I think Shanahan's going to prove everyone wrong that he can actually
finally get it right. Yeah, I can see it. If that Super Bowl matchup does happen, I think we'll all be big-time Cleveland wagons.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, well, it looks like we've made our predictions. Will be interesting to see. We'll revisit this, but definitely follow along, and we'll keep you updated. Like, comment, subscribe. Two Plain Sports on Twitter, Facebook. Hit us up. Any comments, anything outrageous that we said that you don't agree with, we'll happily entertain that. So,
yes,
thanks, guys.
For sure.
So.